Meredith Gorman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
A UFC fight night card to end the year at the Apex in Las Vegas. Royval versus Cop live on ESPN. Last time, right? Last time until the Paramount deal happens. And there's a break, guys. There's a big break for about 6 weeks. Probably one of the longer breaks I have seen. We'll break down the main card like always, provide free picks, leans, price talk, fades, and more. No UFCs on the weekend. I can do 1 or 2 weeks, but after you start missing it, right? And that's going to happen. But I'll be busy with Christmas and some family friend stuff, so that should be good. And we got the NFL on, of course, along with some other sports. Systemsportscapping.com or link.me/systemcapping for client opportunities. Got my resume over there, records updated each week, and client comments along with a lot more. If you're listening on YouTube or watching, I guess, on YouTube, please like the video. It does help out a ton. For all the free winners I gave out this year, least you can do. Spotify and Apple review as well over there. I do have a lot of listeners in the audio platforms. Christmas giveaway, guys. Christmas giveaway, we're going to do it. I did mention it on the NFL podcast yesterday, or the day before. So hopefully you did get that, and hopefully you are commenting. 2 comments or reviewers. So if you're commenting on YouTube or if you're reviewing over on Spotify and Apple, I'll pick out 2 winners. I'm sure there won't be a ton. So you got a good chance of winning. Gift card, $50 gift card, and also a subscription for a month for free to the system. So that could turn into a lot more than $50. So, get in the comments, get in the reviewers. I will be picking one. It was another great year for myself, for podcast listeners, highlighted by the big run that you guys remember, hopefully, the 20-1 pay-per-view card run. That was the highlight of the year, big highlight, one of my best runs that I've had. We did have a 22-1 run a couple years ago. But this one was a little more special because it was average line plus money, guys. This is not me sitting here saying, oh yeah, this minus 300 guy is going to win. Bet the minus 300. No, these are client plays plus money average, right? You're going to find a lot of guys out there go, yeah, take the favorite minus 300-400. Yeah, okay. Try to get the outcome, right? Of course I like favorites, right? Minus 300-400 favorites, but I find an outcome. Or I parlay them with 2 fighters to get plus money or a better line. So, yeah, average line plus money 21-1 was the highlight. We had just over 92 units. That's longer term. 65% roughly all cards. So including, the smaller fight night cards, which sometimes, you can not have the best cards on those smaller cards. So it does affect the percentage a little bit. But I'm happy. Anytime it could be in that 64-65 range for the full year with average line plus money on all cards. Very successful season. Very happy about that. We didn't end the pay-per-view season well, though. Merab ruined that. I had my theory, don't bet against Merab until proven otherwise, and I was proven wrong with Jan showing up. Now, I did mention the line was way off. I thought there was value on Jan. I just couldn't bet it. I haven't seen enough from it. You saw the first matchup. If you went and watched the first matchup and then thought you could bet Jan the second match, very difficult. I think if you bet Jan, it would have been against the Merab fighting and defending his belt 4 times and the weight cuts. I get that. If you took that theory, I understand. And I probably should have looked into that more because I do believe it affected him. Hats off to Jan. Takedown defense was unbelievable. Very impressive. And then, if the fight stayed standing for the most part, Jan had a big chance to win this fight, and that's what he did. I think he even took down Merab once or twice. So hats off to him. He looked 100%. I don't believe Merab was 100%. Even Sean O'Malley actually mentioned something on his podcast. He didn't look that cut coming into the event. I don't recall it, but he didn't look like he was in his best shape, and that's what happens. When he takes some chances. So, hats off to Merab, still one of the best in this division ever. But Jan's time now, maybe, right? Question is, will we see Merab next in the rematch, or will it be Nurmagomedov? I would love to see the Umar versus Jan fight. Sean O'Malley beats Son Yadong. He could get up there in that rematch because a lot of people thought Jan beat Sean O'Malley in that first fight. So that would be a good rematch to see. It would be a nice striking battle for sure. Pantoja. If you had a Pantoja ticket, you just got to, take that kick in the balls. There's not much you can say there. I had Pantoja. I thought he was going to win the fight. He looked great for as long as the fight lasted. But, hey, what can you do? He lands on his elbow, ruins it, and Van wins the belt the worst way you want to win a belt. I think he over-exaggerated. I think he was too excited. He was jumping on the cage, this and that. I would have just took the belt, put on my shoulder, put my head down, and say, let's fight Pantoja again. Didn't happen like that, so, little points deducted for Van there. But, hey, you win the championship. You are technically the champion. You won by TKO. So, hey, he technically is the champion. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Will they have Tyro who had a good performance against Moreno, or will it be Merab next? We'll see. Not Merab. Will we see the rematch with Pantoja? Depends if Pantoja is healthy or not. I don't know how long that injury is going to take. If it's 6 months, Jan probably won't want to wait that long. We could see Jan back in 3 months. So maybe Jan versus Tara. Why am I saying Jan? I'm mixing it up before the other fight. Will it be Van? Will Van want to see Tara? I think that'd be a good fight. Or will it be waiting for Pantoja? We will see. Excited for this division to see what Van can do, see if he can hold it off. And I want to see the Van Pantoja fight. I thought it was a good fight on paper. And we do got to give a shout out to Henry Cejudo. He did a lot in this sport, even though he's cringe and I didn't like him. But he did a lot, right? Obviously, the gold medal as well. Didn't look like a gold medal there. Gold medalists are in wrestling there. It looked pretty bad, to be honest. Talbot was able actually to take him down, which was crazy. Talbot is not a great wrestler. He was able to take it down with I think it was a trip, but they also took him down in another area. And obviously the striking was going to be much better. Hats off to, Henry for lasting, though. I got to give him some credit. He was able to last all those rounds. So hats off to him there. Showed some durability. I had the fight to go the distance. So that was a bet that I hit there. But it didn't matter because of the Pantoja and Merab blunders. Let's get into this card, guys. Last card of 2025, and then that 6-week break that I talked about. It's not a great card, but there's a couple good fights on the main card and even a couple on the prelims. We'll talk the main card like always. Royval plus 235 versus Cop minus 300. Right away, there's value on Royval, guys, at this price. I had this price when I was handicapping it and not looking at the books price. I always do that on Monday. I had this at like Cop minus 180. I don't know what I'm not seeing here. I am leaning Cop to win this fight. I want to start off by saying that. But at this price on Royval, I have this fight very close. He's live at plus 235, guys. This is a great price. Right? Let's look at it, right? Let's look at it. Royval, obviously, he's going to have the advantage in 5-round fights. I haven't seen Cop fight 5 rounds before. Royval, great cardio. And he has a grappling advantage here. Question is, can he get it down there, right? Cap's takedown defense is great, 82%. Royval's not known for getting fights down to the ground. He's not really a wrestler, doesn't have great wrestling, and he can be taken down himself. Very bad takedown defense at 45%. I don't think Cap will want to bring it there. I think Cap will be able to land the bigger shots on the feet, which will catch the judge's eye more, probably could damage Royval. The problem is Royval's very durable, guys. Very durable. Has been knocked out for a long time. I don't really see Cop finishing him. Cop does have back-to-back TKO finishes, guys. Keep that in mind. Against very low-level guys, though. Now, Almabayev, I'm not going to say he's low-level. I think it was a good win. Prior to that, Silva hasn't been fighting well. He's been losing to a lot of guys. And it's just a resume advantage, right? Royval has a big resume advantage. He's fought everybody. The only guys he's lost to is when he stepped up in competition. Moreno back in the day in 2020 when Moreno was hot. Pantoja twice. Right? So when he's stepping up in competition, and Van I have to mention as well. That was his last fight. I think it was a very close fight, but Van stole the 3rd round. Thing is with Ravel, he'll throw a lot. He has some decent high volume. Just the shots aren't big. He doesn't throw big power shots. So if he wins fights, it has to be due to his grappling, submission attempts, and his volume. He's not going to, in my opinion, hurt Cap on the feet. I don't see that happening, but I could see, a lot of volume coming his way and a lot of grappling attempts to try to find a submission. I just think he's going to struggle. Why I'm not in love with this plus 235 on Royval, and why I can't, if I do bet, it would be for a very small unit, because I do have it, a very close fight. The issue is, I don't believe Royval can get this fight down to the ground, and if he does, I don't think he can keep Kopp down there. That's the only issue. That's why, I'm not running to the window. Oh, plus 235 on Royval, even though I think there's value there. I'm not super excited to bet it, because I do believe Kopp is in his best prime right now. 31-32, back-to-back finishes. Right? So that's why I can't be running to win. I'm not going to just not bet Kopp because, he hasn't fought 5 rounds before. I don't believe he has a cardio or a gas tank issue, so I don't think it's going to be an issue here. So again, lean is Kopp. The value is with Royval at plus 235. If you're going to put a small unit on Royval at this price, I'm not going to call you crazy. And I like the over in rounds. You get 2.5, 3.5 over in rounds there. Wouldn't be surprised if this fight goes the distance. Again, we don't see Royval get finished much. He's very durable. And Royval just doesn't. The only way Royval finishes Kopp is by submission. Possible. It's possible. Just I don't know if he gets the fight down to the ground on a consistent basis to get that submission. Fun fight, though. See what happens. Co-main, Giga Chikadze, plus 235 versus Vallejos, minus 300. Another big price here. I had Vallejos as the rightful favorite when I did my own lines around minus 200. I think he's very good, 16-1. His only loss was outside of the UFC to Jean Silva, guys. So not a bad loss, right? In the UFC, he's been undefeated, 2-0. No big names, though. This will be his biggest test yet. He's coming from Dana White Contender Series, guys. He actually lost the first fight to Jean Silva on Dana White Contender Series. Then he got another crack at it, won there. And now he's in the UFC looking great, guys, 2-0. I think he wins this fight. Question is, Giga Chikadze, kickboxer, right? If you just stand and point fight with him for 3 rounds, you could lose the fight. He does have some heavy kicks, some heavy shots, but I think Vallejos will be able to mix it up. I think that's how he wins this fight. He's going to have to make this an MMA fight. He's going to have to try to grapple, slow it down, use some cage control time. And he does have some power on the feet as well to hurt Giga. Giga 37. Now, I don't think he has a lot left. He's been getting injured a lot as well, not fighting a lot. He's lost 2 in a row. Now, the 2 in a row, he's stepping up in competition, right? David Anama last time, and he had an Arnold Allen loss. Those are respectful losses, so it's hard to really ding him there. I just don't think he has a ton left, guys. Right? This is the new wave coming in against the old wave. I don't think Giga wins this fight unless he somehow catches Vallejos, or Vallejos is not able to put the pressure on him and maybe get this fight down to the ground. Giga, not going to get knocked out. Very durable. He hasn't been knocked out in his career. He has been submitted. Don't really see a threat for Vallejos to submit him, though. Doesn't have many submission threats. 16 wins, only 2 submissions. So I'd be very surprised if Vallejos gets a submission here. So play will be Vallejos, not sold on him finishing the fight, so I actually would play the decision prop to improve this price, but he could fit in a 2-fight parlay for me as well. Again, shots of Giga win in this fight, I think it's somewhat low, around 20%, so it's possible. I think Vallejos seems to be the real deal. Almeida plus 176 versus Oleg, the brother of Michael. Oleg Kak, Polish fighter. His brother, Michael. They both train out of the Fighting Nerds. So good camp. He's going to come in with a good game plan, guys. What I've seen from him, he can grapple a little bit more than his brother, Michael. He has some power on the feet, tons of volume as well. Almeida, you're not going to want to stand and bang with him. Like, if you guys don't know Almeida, he's a kickboxer. He's beat Alex Pereira in kickboxing. Doesn't have great grappling. So I think Oleg should try to get this fight down to the ground. I think he would have success there if he does. Don't stand and bang and try to outstrike Almeida. That's his path to victory. So try to make this ugly. I think Fighting Nerds are going to have that game plan. They have good game plans. They're going to know Almeida pretty well. He's Brazilian, right? Obviously, that camp is Brazilian. So the only reason that's keeping me hesitant, first, the price, right? Minus 220 for a guy making his UFC debut. It's always a concern. He's not some high-level, big-time prospect coming into the UFC, guys. So minus 220, I'm not excited to bet it. And I don't know how the fight's going to finish. It's a tough outcome, right? Could go decision, could go all 3 rounds. Tough to call. So I'll be staying away from this fight probably, to be honest. I'm going to lean Oleg here. Probably not going to make my client card, though, but I will lean his way. It's a good fight. Costa minus 105 versus Carrier. However you want to pronounce it, minus 115. And it's a pick 'em for a reason, guys. Tough fight to handicap. I think it could go either way. I think you're kind of flipping a coin here, but we will lean Costa's way. It's mainly due to this run that he's on, right? He's looking great, guys. Forced fight win streak. Couple good wins in there over Feely, Rodriguez, and Arosa. I think he continues to streak here. Not going to, if I do bet, it's going to be for a smaller unit because I do think it's a tough fight to call. Charrier, good striker, good takedown defense, coming off a nice win over Landwehr as well. So, this fight could go either way. I wouldn't be shocked if either guy wins, but I think you're getting a better price on Costa. I think you look that way. He's coming in confident on that win streak as well. Watch the weigh-ins for this one. But yeah, should be a good competitive fight. Right. Next guy, should be up getting a top 10 guy, in my opinion, if you could win this fight, especially if Costa wins it. He's on a 5-fight win streak, so you got to start talking about him. Last fight we'll talk about here, guys. We'll make this a quick pod. Kennedy, minus 138 versus Bukechka, and plus 112. Now, let me tell you about this one. This one opened up at minus 200 on Kennedy. And I was like, oh, there's some value on Bukechka, especially if you get this fight down to the ground. He's going to have a huge grappling advantage. And now it's minus 138, Kenny. People have been betting on him. Now, Bukechka in his debut, it was ugly. It was ugly. He lost to Buday. You don't want to lose to Buday. You don't want that on your resume. He has that. The question is, can he get this fight down to the ground against Kennedy? Kennedy's takedown defense is pretty solid at 80%. So I don't know if he's going to be able to get the big man down. If he's not, he could get rocked on the feet. So you're taking a shot, right? If you take a shot, you bet Bukechka by submission. You don't bet this price at plus 112. One of the better heavyweight grapplers against a blue belt in Kennedy. So if you bet this fight, you bet the plus submission money on Bukechka. That's the only way you bet it. If you want to bet that side, if you're going to take a shot at Kennedy, says, oh, he doesn't get takedown, doesn't get submitted, that's very possible as well. So I get both sides here. But Bukechka submission prop, little small unit on that. Why not? Why not, right? Let's see. Maybe he could get this fight down to the ground, get the big man down where he'll be a fish out of water. Funny enough, Kennedy actually has been training jiu-jitsu. Like he's been fighting in tournaments, but blue belt tournaments, guys. Blue belt. So we'll see. We'll see. Bukechka's plan is going to be just attack the legs, try to get the submission. And let's say he gets it. Why not? Submission prop on him, get a good plus money price there. That will do it, guys. The last UFC video for 2025. Hopefully you have been listening all year long and cashing on a lot of winners, a lot more than we don't, right? That's how it's been every year since I've been doing this. So hopefully you have been tailing. We'll see you guys back in 6 weeks, but I'm sure most of you guys are listening to the UFC pod. You're listening to the NFL. So you'll see me or hear me next week with the NFL. If not, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, and we will be back in the new year, of course. Like I always say, bet smart and know your limits.